The New York State Athletic Commission has officially overturned the result of the Gervonta Davis vs. Lamont Roach fight, sending shockwaves through the boxing world. Fans who had long decried the decision as a robbery finally saw justice served. The CompuBox stats told the true story. Roach outlanded Davis in both total punches and jabs, highlighting the controversy behind the original verdict.
Over for Captain Fighter. I told y'all from the beginning that got the skills paid up.
WBA President Gilberto Mendoza had already confirmed that a rematch was in the works, but with the commission's intervention, Tank is no longer the winner. The undefeated record he had protected for years is now erased, sparking immediate backlash.
The New York State Athletic Commission is reviewing the results of the fight, and it's based on that knockout, which is extremely important. Because if that...
Davis, who had been hinting at a rematch in May, now finds himself forced into one under entirely different circumstances. What was supposed to be a routine title defense has turned into full-blown damage control. His fans, once adamant that he was the face of boxing, are now scrambling for explanations. But Davis didn't wait for them to make excuses. He offered one of his own, blaming his hairstylist for his struggles in the ring. "She put grease in my hair, so when I was sweating, the grease dripped into my face and burned my eyes," Davis told the crowd at the Barclays Center. Instead of sympathy, the arena erupted in boos. Trying to brush it off, he continued, "This is real. Look at my hair. I just got mine done. But it's all cool, man. They love you, then they hate you. Turn around and they'll love you." That excuse didn't sit well with the boxing world. Fans immediately took to social media, clowning Tank for blaming hair grease instead of admitting that Roach had outboxed him. The memes came flooding in, with fans posting pictures of hair products, tagging Tank, and joking that Roach's real strategy was a bottle of hair oil. But it wasn't just the fans who had something to say. Tank's own hairstylist, known as Leave the Brand on Instagram, fired back almost instantly. "I did his hair Wednesday. It's Saturday. He did press, gym, and weigh-in," the stylist wrote on Instagram, calling out Tank for making excuses. "That's no excuse. How much grease did I use?" They even posted a picture from their salon, showing there wasn't an excessive amount of product being used. "Take a look around. Do you see an overload of grease everywhere?" The backlash didn't stop there. The stylist went on to say that if Tank was blaming something as minor as hair grease, then he had bigger problems. Some fans even compared it to other infamous boxing excuses, like fighters blaming heavy ring walk outfits for slowing them down. But this was different. This wasn't just about a weak excuse. It was about a fighter, once seen as unbeatable, being exposed in a way no one expected. The overturned result has completely changed the way people see Tank. Before this, he was the guy who always got the benefit of the doubt, the supposed knockout artist, the fighter who couldn't lose because the business of boxing wouldn't allow it. Now all of that is gone. The commission stepping in like this is rare. It takes a major controversy for them to erase a fighter's win and admit there was a problem. And in this case, the issue was clear. The New York State Athletic Commission acknowledged that a technical error prevented them from reviewing the replay when it mattered most.
I thought I should have won without that being counted a knockdown. Look, I ain't the ref. I ain't really, you know what I'm saying? Like, if he had to wipe sweat out his eye, he had to wipe sweat out his eye. But the rules do state, if you voluntarily take a knee, then that's an automatic head count. But it is what it is. I wasn't relying on that. I was relying on what I was doing. And
during the round in question, the commission requested a replay review, but due to a technical issue, they were unable to receive the footage within the allotted time. As a result, the referee's in-ring decision stood, and the fight continued, the commission explained. But they didn't stop there. The commission is dedicated to preserving the integrity of combative sports and is committed to working with all promotions and production teams on behalf of the athletes, officials, and fans to ensure technical issues do not occur in the future that prevent the delivery of ringside instant replay feeds to the commission's officials when needed. This statement made it clear. Not only was the commission admitting fault, but they were also taking steps to ensure something like this never happens again.
I mean, definitely an off night for Tank, but Lamont Roach is the guy, man. He showed up, and Tank gave him a tremendous amount of respect in the fight, and we saw why. I mean, great counterpuncher, he's very high boxing IQ. He always says, I hit harder than people think, I hit harder than my record says. He stunned Tank several times. Tank looked like the guy.
In the eyes of many, Tank had finally been caught. The system that had protected him for so long failed him this time, and his biggest critics wasted no time celebrating. Then came Terrence Crawford. Crawford has never been a fan of Tank's flashy lifestyle, often calling him out for prioritizing social media clout over real boxing legacy. For years, he had accused Tank of being protected, avoiding the toughest competition while still being marketed as a superstar. Now, with the fight officially overturned, Crawford couldn't hold back. "This dude has been talking like he runs the sport," Crawford tweeted. Well, the sport just told him otherwise. And he didn't stop there. He went straight at Tank's fan base, the same people who had spent years claiming Davis was the face of boxing. "All y'all talking about Tank being the face of boxing? Well, the face just took an L." He wasn't wrong. Tank's once untouchable record now had a stain on it that he couldn't erase. And to Crawford, this was karma. He had long called out Tank for dodging fights with Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson. And now, he was watching him take a loss against Roach, a fighter who was never even supposed to be a real threat. To Crawford, this was proof of what he had believed all along. Tank had been given an easy road, and now it had finally caught up to him.
Maybe the opponent, Lamont Roach, actually got stronger moving up 5 pounds to 135 pounds. He was able to take Tank shots without ever really being in any serious trouble. That, I think, was unusual and disconcerting.
Always been the fighter who never had to take real risks, carefully picking opponents while still being treated like a king. But with the fight overturned, that illusion was crumbling. How are you going to avoid the likes of Shakur, just to take a loss against Roach? Crawford mocked. Meanwhile, Ryan Garcia wasted no time rubbing it in. The moment the New York State Athletic Commission overturned Davis's draw against Roach, Ryan was already on social media, reminding everyone he had called it. "Told y'all he lost that fight," he posted. The commission did the right thing. Tank got exposed. Ryan and Tank have been bitter rivals for years, whether genuinely or just for show. But ever since their fight, where Tank knocked him out, Ryan has been on a mission to prove Davis wasn't as great as people believed. Every time Tank won, Ryan had something to say, calling him protected and overrated. But now, with the commission stepping in and officially overturning the result, Ryan had all the ammunition he needed, and he wasn't done yet. Ryan didn't hold back, going straight at Tank's fans. "Y'all have been lying to yourselves for years," he said. "Dude isn't that good. He just got saved every time he fought. Now even the commission couldn't protect him." He pointed to his own fight with Tank, implying there had always been something shady in Davis's favor, even bringing up Lamont Roach to prove his point. Then came the knockout blow. Ryan posted a video of Tank taking a knee against Roach, the very moment that sparked all the controversy. But it wasn't just the clip that got people talking. It was Ryan's brutal caption: "No heart. Quitter energy." Tank had always built his image as the ultimate fighter, the bully, the knockout artist, the street warrior. But now, thanks to Ryan, the world was seeing something different. Instead of the feared puncher, he was now the guy who took a knee, and Ryan was making sure no one forgot.
A lot of criticism for not knocking Lamont out, and Lamont not being a big name, so they overblow it.
I think so, yeah, and I feel like people just don't like Tank to a point where any little thing, because he ain't knocked him out too late, probably feel like people know that he lost, and he didn't, or it was a draw, like Tank was doing a lot of smart things in the beginning. Moving a little bit too much, but...
Shakur Stevenson had been watching everything unfold in silence. But once the ruling became official, he couldn't resist speaking up. He and Tank had been circling each other for months, trading shots on social media and teasing a fight that never materialized. Tank dismissed Shakur as boring, while Shakur called Tank all hype. But now, with Tank officially taking a loss, Shakur had all the proof he needed. He didn't even need to say much. He simply posted, I knew what it was. Now let's see if he
Floyd
still
Money
wants to
Mayweather,
talk.
one of the greats, one of the legends, one of the GOATs, said to himself, "Sugar Tank Davis." So we know that Tank Davis loves to be painting his nails, wearing stilettos, wearing them purses. How many pay-per-view buys does this Roach Jr. coming up for 130? How many buys do you think this does, my brother?
I mean, 350.
Shakur Stevenson went live on Instagram, shaking his head like he had seen it coming. "You see how the boxing gods work?" he said. "That man was out here acting like he was the bogeyman, calling me boring, but now look. He got whooped, he got dropped, and he got his W taken away. Then came the challenge he had been waiting to make for months. Or maybe now he can just fight me and stop running." That was the real conversation. With Tank's undefeated record gone and his aura of invincibility shattered, what was next? He no longer had the same leverage. He couldn't just act untouchable anymore. If he wanted to prove himself, he had to finally step up.
Look, I want some money tonight. That's all I'm happy for. I want money tonight.
Shakur, tell us something, bro. Like, what you think about the
I'm
decision?
gonna shit on him.
Okay.
We still gotta see each other. He say he wanna fight me, so we gonna fight.
But what do you think about the decision?
I told him I won.
Solomon won. Got you. I talk to
The
you
plan
later.
for Roach is simple. Stay calm, stay sharp, and show Davis he's not intimidated. If he can do that, he has a real shot at breaking down the defensive walls Davis usually builds around his opponents. But lately, Davis himself has been stirring up confusion with his unpredictable moves. For months, the Baltimore native has made eyebrow-raising comments about his career, leaving fans uncertain about what's next. It all started on Christmas Eve when he dropped a bombshell out of nowhere, claiming that his highly anticipated showdown with Roach was canceled. There was no explanation, no follow-up, just a cryptic social media post that left the boxing world scratching its head.
I'm not looking at Lamont the way that everybody else look at Lamont. Like, you know, I know Lamont is a really good fighter. I'm not. This ain't no Frank Martin. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
It's a real good fight.
Naturally, fans jumped to conclusions, speculating that this might be another one of Tank's infamous meltdowns. Davis's unpredictability wasn't new, but this felt different. The timing was strange, and with no confirmation from his team, it seemed like another case of him throwing a wrench into his own plans. Just as it looked like the fight might slip away, Lamont Roach and his father, Lamont Sr., stepped in to clear the air. They quickly reassured fans that the fight was still on track for its scheduled date. The situation could have easily spiraled into chaos, but both fighters managed to keep the focus on their upcoming showdown. Despite the brief confusion, the momentum never faltered, and now Roach and Davis are fully locked in for their highly anticipated March 1st, 2025 bout at Barclays Center in Brooklyn.
Talk to me about the mental preparation going to this fight with Lamont. Fans, they kind of sleeping on Lamont, but you know Lamont's fighting style. Y'all fought.
Yeah, people don't know him, but Lamont is a good fighter. Like he ain't no slouch. Like I put him in the amateurs. Like
Roach was just as baffled as everyone else when the cancellation rumors started swirling. But while fans panicked on social media, he refused to get caught up in the drama. During a recent Q&A session on his YouTube channel, he addressed the situation with his usual calm demeanor. When a fan asked directly, "Why did people say the fight was canceled or that you pulled out?" Roach simply smiled and explained his side. "Gervonta Davis is like a wild card. You never know what he's going to do next," he said. The 29-year-old Washington native admitted that Davis's unpredictability is something he's learned to deal with over the years. But instead of being fazed by the rumors, Roach remained focused on what he could control, staying locked in on the fight ahead.
Rematch clause, people, so get ready for 2 fights. But, yes, and after I beat him the second time, I probably would ask the WBA to let me go up to 140 and
Roach
fight.
has seen it all in his journey, and he's not about to let Davis's eccentricities throw him off course. He knows Tank well enough to understand that his decisions, whether an emotional tweet or a cryptic post, often don't make sense from the outside. Davis thrives on keeping people guessing, but Roach isn't interested in playing that game. For him, it's business as usual. He has a fight to prepare for, and nothing will distract him from that goal. The mental side of boxing is just as crucial as the physical, and Roach is staying sharp for what could be the biggest challenge of his career. "I don't let that stuff affect me," he said, making it clear he won't get caught up in the drama or rumors. Instead, He's channeling all his energy into preparing for the fight of his life. A win over Davis would change everything: his career, his legacy, and his future. But for now, his focus remains locked on the prize, tuning out the noise and keeping his eyes on the moment that
Yeah, man, I mean, it's gonna go. Tank gonna be losing the first 3 rounds. Then he's gonna download the data. Then he gonna knock this dude out in round 7 or 8. Then he gonna do the backflip. Then Jim Gray's gonna get in the ring, or Caleb Plants for White, and say, "Who do you want next?" And Tank's gonna say, "I want all those guys." They're gonna go to the press
Naturally,
conference.
fans jump to conclusions, speculating that this might be another one of Tank's infamous meltdowns. Davis's unpredictability wasn't new, but this felt different. The timing was strange, and with no confirmation from his team, it seemed like another case of him throwing a wrench into his own plans. Just as it looked like the fight might slip away, Lamont Roach and his father, Lamont Sr., stepped in to clear the air. They quickly reassured fans that the fight was still on track for its scheduled date. The situation could have easily spiraled into chaos, but both fighters managed to keep the focus on their upcoming showdown. Despite the brief confusion, the momentum never faltered, and now Roach and Davis are fully locked in for their highly anticipated March 1, 2025 bout at Barclays Center in Brooklyn.